You walk past something totally normal, like a grocery store shelf, a random movie poster, or even a road sign, and your brain just goes, ew, the kerning, or why is that aligned like that? Or my personal favorite that runs through my head, who the hell approved of that? If you could relate, congratulations, you have been infected. You've got a bad case of the design brain, and unfortunately, once it's switched on, there's no way to turn it off. Today, I am talking about how exactly designers think, how we see the world, how we analyze things, the secrets behind why our brains work the way they do. Hi friends, I'm Candice. I'm a graphic designer who likes coming on this channel and sharing my tips and tricks with you. That way you can live your best design life. And I am someone who absolutely can't watch a movie without analyzing the title cards. I know, it's a curse. I wish I was joking. If you are someone interested in creativity, design psychology, or just want to peek into the chaotic brain of a designer, then this video is for you. In this video, I am breaking down the designer mindset, how we make decisions, why we obsess over details, and how we interpret visual cues, how we go about solving problems, and how you could train your brain to think like a designer too. This might be one of my favorite topics ever, so grab a snack and let's get into it. At its core, the designer brain is trained to do one thing very well: see patterns. And I don't mean just visual patterns, although yes, we can spot a misaligned box from 40 miles away. But I mean patterns in behavior, movement, storytelling, emotions, attention, visual hierarchy, and communication. Designers don't just look at things, we study them. An example, you show a random person the Spotify homepage, and they see music. A designer looks at the homepage, and they see things like grid alignment, use of dark mode, spacing between cards, the color psychology, the user's prominence of their recently played track, the curved shapes that guide the eye, even the album covers. As designers, we live our life in constant detective mode. We're like visual Sherlock Holmes. It's not that we want to analyze everything, it's just that's naturally what our brains do. Normal people, they just see a poster. Designers see the relationship between every single element. We don't see a picture and some text. We see things like tension, hierarchy, alignment, color balance, proportion, anchoring, weight distribution on the page. We evaluate how everything talks to everything else. My favorite example, an Apple billboard. It is like 95% white space. To non-designers, wow, minimal. But a designer will look at that same billboard and say, ooh, that white space is doing so much of the work. Designers, we don't see objects, we see systems. And that type of mindset, it shapes our entire worldview. Okay, if you've ever tried to explain to someone why a layout just feels wrong, you will understand this. Designers rely on instinct, trained instinct, long before the logic catches up. You will see something and you'll automatically understand that something feels off. Then your brain, it will start diagnosing. Maybe it's spacing, maybe it's contrast, maybe weight distribution. It could be color temperature, alignment. Maybe it's too busy. Maybe it's not busy enough. It's like as designers, we have a built-in vibe check engine. And the reason that it works so well is because of experience. Over time, when you do this long enough, your brain becomes a visual library. And when something doesn't match the pattern in that library, your brain will sound the alarm. Non-designers think that constraints limit creativity, but every designer knows that actually the opposite is true. If you give a designer no rules, they will spiral. Give a designer restrictions, color systems, tone, audience, storytelling, grids, and suddenly the creativity unlocks. A couple examples. My absolutely favorite designer of all time, Milton Glaser. I love New York. It was designed in constraints for a tourism budget. Google's material use system. Instagram's gradient, it was born from a rebrand. They needed to add warmth and tech. Think about classic print ads where you get one image and one headline. Constraints give creativity something to push against. Designers thrive in boundaries the same way that dancers thrive with rhythm. Design is a weird place where you're constantly balancing. Does this make sense? Does this feel right? If it's only logical, it's boring. If it's only emotional, then it gets confusing. Great design, it lives in that sweet spot between psychology and practicality. The Netflix Red, it isn't just bold. It is energetic, urgent, cinematic. It is emotion plus decision-making. Take Helvetica, for example. It feels neutral and modern, which is why so many brands use it for trust. Or you could even think about Starbucks branding. The use of warm lighting, green tones, soft textures, circular shapes. It's not something that is there by accident. It's there to subconsciously tell you to relax, enjoy, stay. Buy a second drink. Designers don't just create visuals, they create moods. Hierarchy. It's like graphic designer's skeleton key to communication. We constantly ask ourselves, what do people notice first? And after they notice that first thing, what do they see second? And then maybe what's third? What is the visual journey that we're taking the audience on? A good example of this is a magazine spread. Your viewer's eye, it always goes to the title, and then after that, it's the subheading. And followed by that, it tends to be the image. And then the fourth place that the eye goes is usually the pull quote. And then last but not least, the body text. Designers intentionally choreograph that experience. Another example, YouTube thumbnails. Why do bold faces plus simple words work? Hierarchy, visual entrance points. Even TikTok filters do this. Beauty filters, they lighten eyes. They brighten skin. Why? Because your eye automatically goes to the brightness first. Hierarchy is literally psychology of attention. A lot of great design is invisible. Think about it. Think about how easy it is to use Google Maps, how you instinctively recognize a Spotify playlist, the calm feeling of Airbnb's UI, your brain remembering the McDonald's M, the golden arches, or even the satisfying click of Apple's UI. As designers, we spend thousands of hours making things feel effortless. Good design disappears, which is kind of ironic, right? Designers spend half their lives obsessing over pixels that no one will ever consciously notice. But trust me, subconsciously people feel it. This is the biggest misconception. Designers are not decorators. Design is problem solving. A good example of this is IKEA. Small spaces, limited budget, they solve that with modular design, or even subway maps. Real geography is messy. Designers simplify it into clean, readable systems. Or even look at the Uber app. The goal isn't beauty, it's clarity, it's timing, navigation, trust. Or even when you think about packaging design, it's not just pretty boxes. It is protecting the product, it is surviving shipping, reducing waste, encouraging people to purchase. Designers look at the world and we ask, how does this work? Why is it like this? How can we do it better? I feel like as designers, we're actually just like curious kids that never grew out of that phase where you ask why about everything. We notice everything, even when we don't want to. Fonts on a plane, awkward kerning on a cereal box, spacing on a restaurant menu, terrible movie poster typography, very badly sketched logos, misaligned labels, TikTok slideshows that almost look good. Designers observe the world like we're collecting references for later. This habit, it builds your visual library, the thing that helps you design faster and better. So here are a few practical steps that you could start using today. Tip number 1, start noticing hierarchy. You could ask yourself, what did I notice first and why? Tip number 2, screenshot the things that you love. Make a folder, type, layouts, colors, branding. Save everything. I'm basically a hoarder. You don't know how many files I have. Analyze things instead of just liking it. Ask yourself what actually works here. And tip number 4, study one element at a time. Only typography, only spacing, only the color use, only the movement. Tip number 5, create small constrained challenges. Only 2 colors, only 1 typeface. Design with only circles. Or maybe your goal could be only to use asymmetry. Tip number 6, redesign something that you don't like. This one could train your problem-solving skills fast. Tip number 7, observe people. Watch how others use an app. Study how people react to packaging or how they behave around signage. And tip number 8, ask why constantly. If you do this enough, you'll start thinking like a designer automatically. Okay, and that, my friends, that's how designers think. It is part instinct, part logic, part psychology, and definitely part emotional storytelling. It is problem solving with visuals. It is observing, analyzing, experimenting, and caring, sometimes a little more than we actually should. If you enjoyed this deep dive, let me know in the comments. Hit like and subscribe if this did something for you. And I make videos like this every single week, so I'll see you next week. Bye.